Kia is the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. See us today at 2435 East 15th Street or BillBurnKia@PanamaCity.com. We make it easy to switch to EV ownership and give you the peace of mind you can trust. Close-in lease based on a new 2023 Kia EV6 model number EN5452. No security deposit required. $7,500 EV lease bonus not available for cash. Subject to credit approval, dealer participation, and vehicle availability. $49.99 due at signing for well-qualified leases. See dealer for complete details. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Burr Kia warranty. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 9/5/23.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Ellis Agency Insurance has been serving Panama City and Bay County for years. They offer a full line of affordable insurance coverage of all types. Many people are attracted to Ellis Agency Insurance because of their friendly, knowledgeable staff. Call independent agent Johnny Ellis for a true comparison of your personal or business insurance. Ellis Agency Insurance at the Old Cullen Insurance location, 1134 Harrison Avenue, across from Dandy Donuts in Delhi. Call 763-1627.
The extracurricular activities, the traffic, the nightly homework, the traffic, the finding time to eat dinner together as a family, the traffic. Back to school can be stressful. Thanks to Ziploc, meal prep doesn't have to be. New Ziploc bags with Stay Open design have a patented stand-up bottom that helps keep the bag upright and a top crease that folds and holds for easy filling, unlocking a second set of hands in the kitchen. If only it unlocked a second set of lanes. New Ziploc brand freezer and storage bags with Stay Open design from S.C. Johnson, a family company.
James Hale Show.
Do you know who I am?
Live and local inside the J. Michaels studio.
People know me.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hot tub! Woo! Good morning. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. I cannot believe it's Friday. Thank God. We hope you have a great weekend. Beautiful day in paradise. Friday means Jim Bob Brandt. Jim, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing good.
You're looking good. Skinny man.
That's right.
275 to 205. Looking good. Boy, Max Fit Sports Nutrition. You want to look better, feel better? Go to see Jason Kowaleski.
How y'all doing today?
We'll do. Hey, if I look like you, I'd be a lot better, brother.
You do. You're
That's
my mentor.
True. I'm your mini-me.
You've taught me everything I know.
Thank you.
Here's that 20 I owe you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Here's that Rudy's gift card.
Oh, I can do that for you.
Right.
Our special guest today, the man, the myth, the legend. You know, he started out small time. He works his way up. Now what's next? Governor? President? What? Nothing holds him back.
Vice president, maybe. Trump's out there looking.
When you came from a legend, you become a legend.
Right.
You know, that's what it is. Griffin, our state representative. How you doing, sir?
Hey, Coach. Thanks for having me. And that's all nonsense. I'm just Griff. Yeah, just Griff here to talk sports with you guys. No, but thanks for having me. I appreciate you having me on this one.
We love having you on.
Yeah.
Love your family, everybody. We're just talking about your two girls. One has a birthday tomorrow.
Yeah, my youngest will be 24 tomorrow. It's hard to believe that little girl is now a little lady, and she's headed to Atlanta this morning to go meet some of her buddies up there and have a big weekend in Atlanta. So I hope she's safe, and you know.
Is she the baby or the oldest?
She's the baby.
She's
the oldest will be 27 in December.
And she goes off to New York by herself. Did she come back?
She's back. She lived in New York for a couple of years and recognized that, that city is just a hellhole.
Right. Yeah.
And really, it's really just too expensive to live in. You got to make big money to even survive in the city. So.
You got to be proud of her, though. Yeah. She goes up there, didn't know a soul. To go to New York and did well.
Yeah, she did great. She had great opportunities and loved it. And just realized that, I think when you grow up here and you have that bright lights, big city, I want to go do, just like Jamie, everybody wants to go off and do their big things. And that's great. But you know what? We live in paradise, man. Yeah. I mean, you get away, and I know I've had two friends that I grew up with that were gone for decades that have moved back in the last year, and they're like, we thought we wanted to live somewhere else. And now they're back here, and they're like, I don't know why we ever left.
Yeah. Now, I give all the credit to grandmother, granddad. I mean, you and your wife did a pretty good job. But I think most of it was granddaddy and grandma.
Everybody talks about my dad. My brother and I laugh. My dad passed away several years ago, but he was this and just generous and funny and laughing and joking. And I'm like, I don't even know who the hell they're talking about. Like, this is the guy that was like, he had me up when he was he was a disciplinarian in a role that it wasn't like a belt. It was if you're going to lay out like an adult, you're going to get up and work like an adult. So he'd wake me up at 5 a.m. We were in the hotel business, and he'd say, come on, let's go. And he'd drag me to that hotel, and I did every job on a hotel property. There's nothing in a hotel I haven't done. When I'm telling you, from cleaning garbage cans to scrubbing the bottoms of pools to sidewalks to cleaning rooms to checking in, on the roof, and you name it, I've done it all. And so that was my dad's way of saying, you're going to play hard, you can get out here and work hard too.
Let me ask you, when you got into when growing up, did you ever think you didn't get that line of work?
I hated it. No, I was the son of a politician, right? So I was, I didn't really enjoy it because I had a light bulb on me everywhere I went. Right. This long before internet and, all that kind of stuff. But this beach was a small community.
Right.
And I was the mayor's son. And I mean, I can remember walking in the door one time and I'd gotten a speeding ticket, and my dad, he says, anything you want to tell me?
That I already know.
Yes. I'm like, Dad, so I hated it and hated it. And then, long story short, in the motel business, we had some people, the county was changing, and they were trying to change the zoning rules, and it was going to affect my business. And I was in my early 20s, and my dad was out of politics at this point. And I started kind of attending these meetings, and then I finally said, I can do better than that idiot sitting in that chair.
Yeah.
And so then I said, well, I'm gonna step out. And my wife was like, I basically went home and I think I said something like, I think I'm gonna do this. And she said, well, I think you need to find another wife. But she, love her, thankfully stuck around for 27 years. But yeah, so no, it wasn't intentional. It wasn't something I chose. I just think maybe occasionally, or not maybe, I know it happens. God opens doors and you just got to walk on through it.
I'm going to get back to this. We got to take a phone call right now. I don't know who this is, who it could be on a beautiful Friday. Who is this? Good morning. Good morning.
It's early in the morning.
Yeah. Good morning.
Go Blue Trucks, your ears over. F-22's back to Tyndall, just saying, since you got Griffiths on there, and we need more Christian men like him in office to steer our country that's like the HMS Titanic heading for an iceberg. Anyway,
kind of like the Michigan Wolverines this year.
Because I wanted to bug you, Coach, so early. I'm getting ready for work, going to Tyndall this morning, and I just want to call you. I know you got Coach Jim Bob Superfly Snook in there. You got Jason. You got Griff in there. And you got a Big Ten show going on there instead of the Coach James Hale Alabama show for 2 hours we hear every day, Monday through Thursday. No, you listen to me, Coach. It's my show now.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
No, I'm kidding.
See, locking the doors does no good.
Hype today. Back off the coffee a little bit.
Hey, tell Jason and Coach Jim Bob Superfly Snuka, what city in Michigan were you calling me about last night? How do you pronounce that?
I can't remember. You're not going to embarrass me. How far did you say? 21 hours? 20-hour drive?
21 hours, yeah.
I might have to fly. I don't know if I can do that.
21 hours. You don't want to go to that state.
But I said I was going to go there and go to Montana. Go up there to Michigan and go head on out to Montana. So
ask them the city.
What was it? I can't remember the name of the place now.
You just skip Michigan anyway. There's nothing there.
Well,
the Upper Peninsula is beautiful, by the way. It is beautiful. And you go to the Upper Lower Peninsula with Traverse City and all that.
What was the name of the town? I forgot.
Well, you pronounced it Marquette, but it's Marquette.
Marquette, okay.
Marquette, close enough.
Marquette, Michigan, home of Northern Michigan.
He's an honor roll school for Southern Miss. Come on.
Man, those ponds up there are big. That was a big old pond up there, man.
Well, let's hear them say Weewahitchka.
Yeah.
Or Okeechobee.
Did you hang up?
I'm still here. I'm just listening to you guys.
I thought about going. Colby Baker's getting married up in Michigan. So we were thinking about driving up. That's Jared's, Eric and Laura Baker. That's their son, oldest son. getting married. We thought about driving up there. You did that trip. Drive up there, then go out to Wyoming, Montana, stay out to Montana maybe a couple weeks. Her brother got a condo up there, and then come on back. And maybe be gone a month. I don't know.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, but you have to fill in for me.
That won't be nice.
But hey, Michigan, I don't know though. I don't want to get near Chicago. I don't want to fly in there. I don't want to drive by it. I don't want anything to do with Chicago. But there's any way to go around it?
Oh, we just did it. When we brought Eddie back.
Yeah,
from
you fit in up there. You just like them.
No. That's why I ain't moving back. Yeah. Florida's my home now. Either Florida or Texas. They ain't going up to that cesspool up there. The politicians are a bunch of morons up there. Anyway, that's what makes the state bad. It's not the people, because they're mostly American patriots like us. But, anyway. But all you got to do is take the bypass. We took the bypass around Chicago and all that, because Eddie wanted to see the Chicago skyline. I'm not going anywhere near there. I'm not taking I-94 through Chicago. Heck no. Not the way that city's become, because it used to be beautiful. Magnificent Mile, Shed Aquarium, Museum of Science and Industry, Sports Heritage, Wrigley Field, blah, blah, blah. But you can just take the bypass around, go up through Milwaukee, go through Wisconsin Dells, you go by Lambeau, and hit the UP through Wisconsin. It's beautiful up there, man. Get some pasties, get some local cuisine.
If I do go up there,
Field.
I do want to go by a great college city. I do want to, see that traditional Michigan State. I mean, that's one of the big
East
colleges.
Lansing.
Yeah,
let's go.
That's what that state's known for.
Yeah.
Well, you say Michigan State, by the way.
You're listening.
Hey, I tell you, they just passed. The politicians just passed approval for alcohol sales at Spartan Stadium. I'm going to say good on them, because they're going to need, Spartan fans are going to need it after the atrocities that's going to be on the field this year by Mel Tucker.
So tell us about Michigan this year. I mean, you got any injuries in camp? What's going on? I mean, I know y'all are picked to win the Big Ten, number 2 in the country. What's your think of this team coming in this year?
Doesn't mean nothing till you play the game, Buckeye boy. You know that.
Buckeye boy.
They're 2-15-3 against us in the last 30 years, but they're awfully confident.
Yeah.
They're awfully confident. You ever heard of rat poison?
Awesome.
Saban talks about it all the time.
You guys had an awesome run against us. Like, how you guys beat us, like, we were like 2 and whatever we were, right?
15.
But who's still holds the overall record? And who's won the last Big Ten championships? Like you and Coach, I would say, what's in the now, not in the past. So we're living in the now. And right now, we beat you guys 2 years in a row, won 2 Big Ten titles. The Michigan is the team to beat in the Big Ten, and you know it until someone knocks us off. Just like I said the same thing when the Buckeyes were king. Until someone knocks them off, they're the king.
You never answered my question when you were here Tuesday. So what's happening with Harbaugh? Is he going to coach or not? Is he going to be
suspended?
What's the deal there?
Lord have mercy, Coach Jim Hacksaw Jim Duggan. You got to get some Q-tips from Coach Hale. I answer that question.
He wasn't here.
Why did your coaches cheat?
That day.
Why did your coaches cheat?
No, I know Coach Hale wasn't here, but Coach Hacksaw was.
Oh,
Coach Hale was there.
Why do your coaches cheat? You make the Big Ten look bad.
No, when he's not going to get suspended. It's going to carry on through probably.
Then he's going to go to the NFL. He'll never.
End of the season. And I said this yesterday on the show.
He's going to pull
for crying out loud.
Well,
no, he's a man of principle. I said this to you yesterday, Coach.
God.
Yeah, that $9.5 million principle.
Just like, is the NCAA the principal? Are they the one that's going to hand down the ruling? Because they're a joke.
Yeah, they are.
Why don't they just tell us what he did? If it's not about the hamburgers, just tell us what he did. We're all big boys and girls.
It was what in the bag underneath the hamburger.
What is this really
about the hamburger, supposedly. It was that he lied about the hamburger. That's the whole NCAA. I got you.
You can't handle the truth.
Well, they can't subpoena anybody. They have no power to actually investigate. So they try to get them in this, hey, he lied, catch him in a lie. So it's a joke, to be honest. You got people handing out bags of cash in McDonald's bags, and this guy buys a recruit a hamburger literally for $5.
We're going to send it to the FBI, and they'll get to the bottom of it.
But isn't that such an NCAA thing to do? You got all these people like basically committing murder, and this guy over here jaywalking, and they write him the ticket and punish him.
And within a day, the guy can get an NIL for $100K and buy the coach 10 hamburgers. It doesn't matter. It's a joke.
Yeah, for them to be policing that with the NIL going on, it's just that is a joke.
Why are we wasting time talking about Michigan? I mean, does anybody even care?
Because they're going to be good this year, man.
You think they're going to be good?
Absolutely.
Well, I guess so. Yeah, they're East Carolina, UNLV. Bowling Green, Rutgers. Yeah, they're going to be really good.
They're going to be real good.
Surfside, Jinx.
Listen to me. listen to me right now. Hey, Buckeye Boy Coach Hacksaw. Guess who's beating the beloved Alabama with top 100 players in the four letters?
FSU. Hey, that's okay. I'm all right with that.
No, there's other two. Even Penn State's beating Alabama. You got UGA, you got Michigan, you got Ohio State, Penn State, and Florida State beating the beloved Alabama Crimson Tide.
Thank you for stealing my spot, but that's okay.
Hey, I hate to do it. We got to take a break. And
I got to get ready for work.
All right, thanks for the call. We had a great interview going on with Griff. You ruined it. Thanks so much.
Mr. F22, go ahead, go to work.
That's my job. Go Blue Truck Series. I'm out. See you.
Later. Griff, I want to apologize. But anyway.
Hey, listen. We deal with all types in my business.
Hey, one of Griff's favorite places, J. Michael's Restaurant. How many years you been going there? Forever?
Since it was in town across from the college. Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
And the legendary dad, the Griff, was there all the time. Matter of fact, you know the last time I saw him alive was
J. Michael's.
J. Michael's.
Wednesdays for spaghetti, baby.
Oh, my God. Get out J. Michael's. Today's at Chris Fish. Best seafood, coldest beer, J. Michael's Restaurant, Thomas Drive, South Oak Title and Closing. Chuck Tucker does an incredible job. All the big-time realtors go to South Oak Title and Closing. No surprises. All real estate needs South Oak Title and Closing. Stevens Air Conditioning. Hey, we don't care what time this day or night. Did you call them?
Yep.
They're there for you.
They came out, fixed it by 3 p.m. yesterday. I called them in the morning, so if you need something done that day,
locals taking care of locals. Absolutely. In Northwest Florida. Stevenson Air Conditioning.
Saved me a bunch of money, too. They could have jacked up the price, but he was an honest.
Well, as long as I get my 10%. Right. I am the big man. I am the guy.
Really.
The big guy. Everybody, I can't say that. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, the best in U.S. Mexican restaurant, right across the street from the Navy base. Great thing about that, Jim, they were chanting for you in Glen Manley last night. I said, I'm sorry they're not going to be here tonight. Everybody got PO'd, but get out there, have a great time. Buy one, get one free. I'm talking about margaritas, house wine, and, of course, draft beer. Lunch specials Monday through Friday, happy hour 3 to 7. El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill. Griff Griffin, Jason Kovaleski, Jim Bob Brandt, John Smitty, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. We're taking the inside track.
Nashville should be the capital of Tennessee, not Memphis.
You heard it here first?
Memphis, man, I got some stories about Memphis. I used to be, we used to play the Redbirds right there, and, close enough where you had to walk. Dude, after the games, I'm like...
He said,
Oh, man.
Join Ryan Mulvey.
Thank you very little.
Middays 11 to 1 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Friday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, sunshine and a high of 92 with a moderate breeze out of the west-southwest at 13 miles per hour. For tonight, clear skies and a low near 82. Tomorrow, sunny and a high around 92. For Sunday, a mixture of mostly sunshine and a possibility of thunderstorms and a high of 93. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
As a realtor, it's important who you choose as your title company. May we suggest South Oak Title? Their offices are modern, comfortable, and state-of-the-art. South Oak Title can close transactions in any location in Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee. Their free mobile app allows realtors to deliver a net sheet in seconds. They provide mobile closing services to accommodate buyers and sellers. Their offices are beautifully decorated, state-of-the-art, complete, safe, and secure. South Oak Title, creating a better title and closing experience through technology and tailored service. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
He doesn't always go the extra mile. But when he does, it's because he missed the exit. It's the Coach James Hale Show. Live and local inside the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And And welcome back, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Griffin's with us this day. I want to get back, Griff. I want to apologize, Sue, for that such a poor call. That was embarrassing.
Hey, he's going to work to serve for our country, so give him a pass.
That's the reason we give him a pass. Him come on the show.
And while he's loving those F-22s, there's 3 F-35s out there right now, and the rest of them show up in about 60, 90 days.
Oh, nice.
And you're going to hear 78 F-35s fly over this county a lot. And let me tell you, there's a difference in sound.
Really?
Those 35s are loud. But they are a cool machine, man.
Are they in the area? Because I remember I was at a light, and then within 20 seconds, something blew past the top of my car. It was loud.
Yeah, 3 of them flew in about 2 weeks ago.
That's exactly what happened.
So that's the only 2.
You know that guy?
Oh, yeah, I know that guy.
Who is it?
Dr. Joel Rudman.
Where is he from?
He's from District 3, so he's like Santa Rosa Beach.
Oh, okay.
Navarre.
Yeah, Randy. That's Randy's buddy.
Navarre. Yeah, he's the rock doc. He plays 80s heavy metal music. He's a family practitioner. He's hysterical. Very cool guy. Well, a good guy to represent and be part of what I call the Panhandle delegation.
Yeah.
We call ourselves the Central Time Zone because, everything past me is Eastern Time Zone. And so we laugh. At the Capitol, we're always the first ones there, the guys from the Panhandle. And I'm like, why is it the Central Time Zone guys beat all you boys from the Eastern Time? But then the Cubans, the Miami guys, will tell you, Cubans are late for everything. We're just late for everything. And so, but it's a good group. But no, Doc Rudman's a good dude. We have a lot of fun together. He's a good cut up.
I want to ask you, all right, county commissioner, state, explain it's got to be tougher because you're dealing with so many more people.
Yeah, the county commissioner role, you're dealing with the government closest to the people is the best, right? In my opinion, you can reach out and touch somebody. There's just another layer up at the state level. And instead of representing 185,000 Bay County residents, which I do, I'm now answer to 22 million residents. And so when you get an issue that might be, let's just say like the gun control with constitutional carry, our part of the world, we love it, right? Mm-hmm. Our people are just chanting the victory spear. But South Florida, not so much. And so it's nothing for me to get 1,000 emails a day, maybe more, 2,000 emails a day on a certain issue. And so you can just get buried in all this stuff that I didn't normally have to deal with at the local level. And so you're making rules you paint with a big brush up there, whereas locally you paint with kind of a scalpel,
Yeah.
So it's different, but it's been a good learning experience. I've had fun the first year.
You enjoy it?
Yeah. I don't enjoy living in a suitcase for 100 days a year. That part stinks. But 90 miles away, if there's days that I have a break in the afternoon and I don't have to be back until 9 or 10 the next morning, man, I come home. I get in that car, and my buddies from Miami and Tampa, they're stuck. They can't get in the car.
That's such a long way. That's crazy.
It's 113 miles front door to front door. I've done it 1,000 times. I can do it in my sleep. So I make that trip. I burn it up pretty good.
All right. What do you? Let's get into it. What do you think? Where in the future, down the road, where does FSU wind up? Big Ten, SEC, or do they wind up staying? Now, this is what I've heard. The SEC and the Big Ten both don't want any part of that $120 million buyout. They can't come in right now. I think it's going to happen, 2 years down the road?
Possibly.
Mm-hmm.
That's where Notre Dame is projected to enter.
Well, in Notre Dame, how are we letting them have so much control of everything? Roman Catholics? What's going on, man?
It's that you give credit to Notre Dame. Notre Dame had that first big TV contract before anybody knew what this all was, so they got a little pocketbook money so they can sit on it. But they need to get off the pot, right? They need to jump in a conference and stick, and we can't just say, well, it's every sport but football. Right. Man up and just get in the game with the rest of us.
You would think the power of the Big Ten, the SEC now, because believe it or not, that's who's running football now. Those two commissioners get together and say, look, you got to be a member of conference to play in our national championship game. And then that would solve all the problems.
Agreed.
If they don't like it, they don't play in it.
I think it's moving towards that because when the Big Ten negotiated their TV contracts, they gave Peacock the streaming rights. Mm-hmm. And there's a couple of big-time games this year that are going to be on Peacock that people ain't going to like, but they're going to have to get that $9.99 subscription to get on. to see the games. But I think they threw NBC a bone there just to say, because I don't think Notre Dame can leave the ACC for 2 more years.
Right.
So 2 years, they kind of throw NBC a bone. Now you got a little in to get Notre Dame into the Big Ten in 2 years.
So it wasn't about Notre Dame maybe wanting to go into the ACC because they're trying to help the two brothers get in the ACC.
I think ACC's dead man walking. I mean, it's just, to me, the writing's on the wall for them. Who's going to go in and pay that much?
If Notre Dame came in, that could save it. Notre Dame and get Stanford.
I think the writing's on the wall. With like in 2 years, you're just going to see like these 4 super conferences with 25 teams. Look, and I know we all got these ideas on what would work and make it simple and for the fan bases to travel, which I think a lot of times they don't take into account because if you want to figure this out, follow the money, right? Where's the money? Follow the train that leads to the Golden Goose, and we're going to have 4 super conferences, hopefully.
Like the NFL.
4 super conferences, and maybe play 8 or 9 in your conference, and then you go out and play the 2 or 3 in the outside, your outliers, and then have a 12-team playoff and go.
Yeah.
The game has changed so much with NIL and all this. This is just the evolution. Our board of trustees at FSU, Drew Weatherford, former Florida State quarterback, he let it be known at the last meeting. He said it's not a matter of if, it is just when Florida State leaves.
Right.
And it's the money. The ACC money's just not there. It's not compared to the Big Ten and SEC. I mean, the Big Ten SEC are projected, once the dust settles, to make upwards 80 to 120 million per year per school. And that's why a lot of people are like, what does Miami add to that? Do they bring more money to the cash pool where we get that, money to each player, or we just divide it up amongst another team? But Big Ten SEC are paying out way more than the ACC Big 12, and that's where the ACC Big 12, to me, just can't survive. Because teams like Florida State, Clemson, North Carolina, they're going to want that big time money too, because if 5-10 years, facilities, recruiting, all that gets hurt if you don't have the money to compete.
I know SMU and Stanford are both trying to get into the ACC. That's been shot down by Florida State, NC State, North Carolina.
But what value does that bring for TV?
They're just trying to survive.
And you're now dividing that up against more teams, so now every team gets less.
Did you see the 4 that are left going to make about $7 or $8 million?
Yeah.
So they're doing anything they can, trying their best to get in any conference, but they want to be in the ACC because right now it's the 3rd best to get in. It's more now than the Big 12. The Big 12 is going to pass them in the future.
Right.
So. You talk about the low-layer teams in the SEC, and you hate to say it, but like Vanderbilt's going to make triple the money that Florida State will. And Florida State's brand is larger than the Commodores. Right. $30 million a year for the first year, and then it will incrementally increase over the years. Look, at those guys in Tallahassee aren't stupid. What they're going to do is they're going to put pencil to paper. They're going to go to like J.P. Morgan Chase. They're going to borrow 120, 30, 40, 50 million. They're going to throw it to them and say, bye-bye.
Yeah.
And then they're going to go off. And because in 2, 3, 4 years, the TV revenue from the SEC, it'll pay off that debt.
Yeah. That's what I was going to ask you. What would they, obviously to me, it's the SEC.
Yeah, it makes only sense to be the SEC. There's a really good article in the last couple of weeks on Tomahawk Nation, which is kind of a Florida State chat board, whatever. And it talks about the last 25, 30 years of Florida State's misdirection. It lays a lot of blame on our athletic directors and things like that about why we're in the position we're in today versus what we should have done in the past. Stan Wilcox, who I thought was a great AD, obviously made some pretty critical errors. This grant of rights he signed is kind of what we're sitting in. And he signed that. He's the one who hired Willie Taggart that we're still paying out, $14 million or whatever too. So there's some ADs in the past going all the way back to Dave Hart that it looks like made some critical decisions, and I don't blame them because hindsight's always 20/20. But looking back now, it's kind of like we're in this position because of the decisions we've made over the last 20 years. And now, you know what? Let's fix it. Let's get to where we're supposed to be. If we want to be competitive, let's go play in the SEC. Let's play these games that people, it makes a difference. It really makes a difference. You go out there and you win. Florida State beats LSU the first game of the season. It's going to set the tone for the rest of the season, right? Yeah. And it's because LSU is a decent team.
And I think FSU's in a great spot. Whether they're in the SEC or Big Ten, because I know they've started to petition for their grant of rights for the AAU, which is research money. That's big time money in these Big Tens. They bring in over $1 billion a year in research money. So if they were able to add that, I think it'd be appealing for the Big Ten. But FSU's in a great spot. They're going to get SEC or Big Ten. They're going to get a big payout if they're able to leave the ACC.
All right, we'll be right back. When we get back, Jim Brandt's going to do our newbies update on FSU. Everything's going on in Tallahassee. We get back in this discussion here. We all know week one, the game, LSU, FSU, Orlando. Right now, let's talk about Dr. Chad Mitchell. He'll be in here Monday morning, does a great job. This will be his 24th year on Bay County sidelines taking care of athletes. You don't have to be a great athlete to go see Chad. Just call, make an appointment. He'll take care of you. The guy's incredible. That Cajun place cannot wait. They did something outstanding. Not only are they going to open and have brunch on Sundays like they've always done, now they're going to do it, and they're doing it right now as we speak on Saturdays. You can get in there at 10 o'clock. Why is that such a big deal for us and what we do? Because in the past, we wanted to get in there, get those wings, get up, watch the game. We missed Lee putting his hat on. We missed some of the kickoffs because everybody's waiting outside to get in. Now we'll be in at 10 o'clock in the morning. You can have breakfast. You can have lunch. You can do whatever you want to do. But we can watch game day. Then we get to watch all of our favorite football games. All they ask you to do is wear your colors, FSU shirt, LSU, Alabama, Auburn, whatever you are, wear it, Georgia, whatever. Wear it in there, have a great time. And this is what they're going to do this year. 50-cent wings. You can't get that anywhere. $5 pitchers. That's when a game's being played on Saturdays and Sundays. Get down to that Cajun place. Incredible. Jan Trudy did a great job in here the other day. Looking forward to being with them. Also, Rudy's Barbecue on Bat Beach Road. You want to go have a big chamber meeting. You want to have a banquet. Anything you want to do in the Lorelei Layton room in the back. Get in there and do it. Rudy's Barbecue on Bat Beach Road. Jason, what's your favorite down there?
Brisket, cream corn, and new potatoes.
Get the turkey plate, turkey sandwich. It's unbelievable. Rudy's Barbecue on Bat Beach Road. We'll be right back with Griff, Jason, and Jim, and Smitty, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Dan Patrick Show. Here is C.J. Stroud, the Texans quarterback, after last night's performance.
One mistake on national television just blows it all up. But, it's cool. I just keep growing and keep learning, man. It's
going to be highs and lows, man.
One play blows it all up.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's the Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings from 9 till 11. ESPN Northwest Florida.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Ben and Deb Collins, owners of Bay Guns and Gear, have been in business since 2010, offering new firearms and accessories with a huge selection available for your hunting needs and personal defense. Turn to Bay Guns and Gear. They have the weapon for you. Discount pricing. And if you can't find what you're looking for, they'll special order it for you. Bay Guns and Gear, across from Grease Pro at 3115 Highway 77. Visit their website, baygunsandgear.com.
Are you looking for wellness items, a natural way to help build your immune system, or items to bring comfort to your home? Come experience the difference that Boho Beach Soles can make. Boho Beach Soles in Pier Park is a small, family, and veteran-owned business, offering a wide variety of organic, all-natural, vegan, and soy products. Everyone deserves to feel their best, and Boho Beach Soles is committed to providing the highest quality products and services. Their passionate team is dedicated to helping people live healthier, happier lives. Boho Beach Soles, 200 Bluefish Drive, Suite 110, Pier Park. Hashtag no one fights alone.
Hi, this is Ryan Mulvey. Join me weekdays starting at 11 for the Inside Drive. The latest sports stories, the biggest reactions, and even sports betting right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael Studio on ESPN Northwest.
Florida State, Florida State, Florida State. Woo! I screwed that up. FSU.
A little early.
Florida State Updates brought to you by Newbies. Get out, Newbies, have a great time. Charlotte demands the best bands in the SEC. The best bands in the South every Friday and Saturday night at Newbies, the mothership. Get out there and have a great time. Now, you want sporting events? Newbies 2 on the Curve. It's been remodeled. It's absolutely gorgeous in there. Go have a good time. Glenn's favorite place is the Booze and Brew. He likes going down there. But, Jim Bob, what do you got for us today on FSU?
I got a couple different things on FSU. if you're familiar with college athletics, you're familiar with a guy named Phil Steele, who's associated mostly with making betting lines and such. But he always writes a lot of stuff about different topics. And I saw this one online. I thought it was very interesting. This is Phil Steele's top 15 scoring defenses for the year coming up. This is obviously his predictions, okay? Excuse me. And I'm not going to read all 15. Georgia, of course, is at the top, okay? It does not include Alabama. I was like, what? I kept going on the list and going like...
We'll get there.
Like, where's Alabama? But this isn't an Alabama update, so I'll forget about Alabama. I'll go down to number 10. Number 10 was Florida State, which I thought was pretty ambitious because they weren't bad, but they've got a lot of people back, and they're going to play pretty well on defense, I think. It'll be interesting to see how they play defense. But some of the other teams, I want to get off this real quick because I want to get to the other one. Here are the other teams that were in there instead of Alabama. This is no particular order. Air Force, Fresno State, Marshall, Toledo.
They out-recruit Alabama every year.
James Madison. Yeah. And I'm thinking, how can you know the betting line and you know all this stuff. With the information that you have available, how can you not include Alabama in there? That's just me.
Over James Madison.
Yeah. James Madison.
I can't take you seriously.
And they're very good at their level. They are.
Right, but we're talking about big-time football.
Alabama,
we're talking about top 5
Did Michigan Eddie do this list? Who did the list? Who did this
Phil
article?
Steele, man.
Oh, he's pretty good.
He's pretty.
Used to be.
All right.
Yes.
And then also yesterday, Michigan Eddie alluded to this before, almost stole my spot. ESPN ranked the top 100 players. So me being the Mr. List that I am and being a former history teacher and I like to collate stuff, I wrote this all down, okay? Thinking that Alabama, Mr. Alabama over here, they would have, they got 27 players and Georgia's got 52. And nobody else has any players. Like, that's not how it worked out. Here are the teams that have the most, according to ESPN, college players in the top 100. And again, this is no particular order. Georgia's got 6. Ohio State's got 6. Michigan's got 6. Florida State's got 6. That's what we're talking about here. And Penn State's got 6. Then LSU, Alabama, Washington from the Pac-4, and Clemson each had 4.
Washington's going to be good this year. I know people laugh about that because Penix is good. They got a defense in that's going to be top 10 in the NFL draft this year. So people are sleeping on them. It's hard to go out there and play. They've always had good football out there. But I think Washington's going to surprise some people. Maybe not playoff caliber, but
here
top,
are the
top
6
15.
from Florida State. You'd probably be able to guess in their rankings. At number 8 was Jordan Travis, a quarterback.
Yeah,
sure.
That to me, that might be too low. I think he's in the top 2 or 3. That's just me.
He's the difference for that team.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Number 9 is Jared Verse, the defensive end. Number 61, Johnny Wilson, the receiver.
Yeah.
This guy I've never seen play, I gotta be honest. Is that Cypress? Everybody raves about him. He transferred in from Virginia.
The
supposed to be the best thing since sliced bread.
Quarterback.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Benson, the running back, at number 69.
Yeah.
And that Coleman kid, Keon Coleman, who came in from Michigan State.
State kid, yeah.
And the thing, all 6 of those players, what do they all have in common? They're all transfers, every single one of them. So that's kind of the world we live in. It's kind of crazy.
Free agency's here.
But
different game.
Yeah.
It's just nuts, It's like you said, talking about, buying the hamburgers. You get an NIL deal, you can buy Jim Harbaugh all the hamburgers you want. It's just crazy. I'm an old-timer, old-fashioned, it's just...
Do it behind the scenes.
I think what frustrates a lot of people, though, they see all these transfers, they're starting immediately, and like we were talking about off the air, you got a kid whose mom's dying, or her grandmother's dying, he's wanting to transfer back to Tallahassee because she lives in Quincy, and the NCAA denies him.
Yeah, Daryl Jackson.
Speak about that, Griff, because you're an FSU guy.
Yeah.
Give us all details on that.
Daryl Jackson, Maryland transfer, family in Quincy, grandmother is passing, or is very ill, and he is asked for the transfer to Florida State, and the NCAA denied the waiver. I mean, that's this before the transfer portal. Long before all this is what they gave those, those reasons to let kids transfer to get close to family for reasons like this.
That's unconscionable to me.
It's just ridiculous. Well, I think most of the Florida congressional delegation has sent a letter to the NCAA, Neil Dunn, bipartisan letter. Jimmy Petronas has sent a letter. I'm hopeful that Tallahassee at the state level, we won't have to. I'm hoping they wake up and go, yeah, this is somebody hit the wrong, key on the keyboard here. This was supposed to be a yes instead of a no, and let's move on.
And what's the player's name again?
Daryl Jackson. Yeah, it's just sad. I mean, this is a kid. Why are they trying to make an example? I get it if these kids are screwing up and doing stuff and a spoiled kid who I didn't get enough playing time, so I'm just transfer portal to, he's on his fourth marriage or whatever. But this is a kid this is what he's doing for his family. And it just makes no sense to me.
It's a perfect
That's why the NCAA has no credibility. Stuff just like this is why we all look at him and go, they are just a shell of an organization. Why are they even involved in what we do?
And it just shows you again how crooked they are, how they take care of the Big Ten.
Oh, yeah.
Georgia had a quarterback that wasn't playing, okay? He wasn't playing. So he transfers to Ohio State. He starts the next year.
Joe Burrow?
No, that was not his name.
Went from Big Ten to SEC.
No, we're not talking about that.
Okay.
We're talking about the other one.
The other guy.
The guy that started this whole thing. Ohio State ruined college football.
Well,
we're trying.
Whatever makes you sleep better, big boy.
They had a coach, up there who, he came from what I call, the school, one of the other schools in Florida called Hogtown. And while he was coach there, I mean, he allowed murders, rapists, drug dealers, and the whole world to that was kind of the offensive line. And I don't really have any sympathy for what goes on when you hire a guy like that and you go up there and he tried to ruin it, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah,
he doesn't
I'm with
leave
you.
places in very good spots when he leaves.
He tends to leave a stain.
There's a little
When does it come out? I think it's the 22nd of August that it comes out. Netflix.
His documentary.
Yeah. What's the name of it?
I can't remember the name of it, but it's supposed to paint him in a good light. So I'm wondering who did the production on it.
Yeah.
Do you think it's bad?
You're always talking about I'd love to have Urban Meyer. James, I'm an Ohio State guy my whole life. He was a great coach. He's a great recruiter, but he's left dumpster fires everywhere he's been.
Character flaw after character flaw.
He's got it. If you ever see him in person and listen to him, it's all about him.
Yeah,
he's got an ego as big as his room.
Oh yeah,
I'd rather
Swamp
lose.
Kings. Ron Moby says Swamp.
I'd rather lose with Mike Norvell than win with Urban Meyer.
I like Coach.
I think Norvell's the right guy at the right time. I've always supported. I grew up with Bowden. 42 years the same guy, and when that changed, the world changed for me. It was like. Probably like when Jerry Garcia died and all the dead.
It's like when Bear Bryant left Alabama.
Everybody
was.
You think that was bad? You wait till we've got counseling set up for you guys when Saban retires.
Yeah, you're going to need it. Here's one right here.
We got group counseling for you, my wife, Holly.
Nick's not coaching.
We didn't win 6 in a row.
Yeah. But I supported Jimbo. I was a huge Jimbo fan until he had one foot out the door, and I supported Taggart, and things went that way. But Norvell to me he's kind of that mini Bowden. He's building men up there, and he's doing it the right way, and he's got tons of energy. I mean, he races the kids every day. The start practice, there's one or two of them. They race the whole indoor facility. So I think that he's building a family up there, and. I want to win with a guy like that.
He's recruiting well. I mean, KJ Bowl is a huge recruit. Recruit.
They're getting transfers and they're recruiting well.
Alabama won him. Georgia won him. Ohio State thought they had a locked up.
I couldn't believe they got him, I'll be honest with you.
That was a big time pick
KJ Bolden.
Because that just put a thumb in the eye of Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State and said, hey, we're here to stay.
Well, Saban, God love him, greatest coach ever. But he's starting to fight what Bowden did towards the end. Yeah. He's getting that, your coach has probably only got a couple years left.
Right. How much longer is Nick going to be around?
He just bought that house in Jupiter, right, guys? He's about to bail out. I mean, that I'd be saying that if I was walking out the door.
For sure.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no love in recruiting.
James Hale cried because he bought that house in Jupiter. How come he's not going up in Alabama?
No, I'll be honest with you. And you went through it. I told Bill Thomas, oh, my God, you hate love Bobby. I said, it'll never be the same. Jimbo wins his national championship. It still wasn't like when Bobby Bowden wins it. It was like Bear Bryant. When Bear Bryant wasn't coaching Alabama anymore, it was, we went through 25 years of misery. Even when Stallings won its national championship, that was pretty good. But it just still wasn't the same. Now with Saban there, is pretty nice.
Oh, sure.
We've gotten over a little bit, but we still miss Bear. I mean,
winning the national championship every other year probably makes it
that
really
helps
nice.
it that way. It's like Bobby Bowden, though. You guys love him because he was just bigger than life.
Yeah, and his character, I think, he was Florida State, right? He was the first coach back in the day when we were playing in an erector set who said, I'll play any team, anywhere, any day. I mean, he said, bring it on, and he went and did it.
Yeah.
I mean, some of those old rivalries with Auburn back in the 80s with FSU and Auburn were so good.
Yeah.
And that was because Bowden was a risk taker. He wanted to go out there and win. And that's kind of what I think our Board of Trustees is now saying, you know what, if we want to play college football, let's go play the best. Yeah. Let's just don't go out here and play these patsies. Let's go beat everybody.
The thing about Bowden is he could talk to you and make you feel like he's known you for 100 years. Yep. And whether you saw him like last week or 4 years ago, because I've been to a lot of his camps, and when I've seen him afterwards, hey, Jason, how you doing? Come up, shake my hand. How you been? Just know my mom. He's the type of guy that when he talks to you, he's listening to you and he cares about you, and you just get that loving feeling from him. You just know his integrity is just impeccable. So a guy you would want to coach your son, basically.
He's from one of us. He's from Alabama.
I know. And y'all let him walk.
Best coach ever from the state of Alabama.
I'm proud of that.
You've heard the story when he was recruiting against Terry, right? And Terry was coming out of the house against like the number one recruit in the country, and he's like walks down. There's his dad, and Terry thinks he's got this locked up, and Coach Bowden says, Terry, call your mama when you get in the car. He just puts him in his place, right? He's just Coach Bowden, we missed that, but I think Norvell's the right guy, right time. I'm looking forward to him.
Did your dad ever get to meet Coach Bryant?
Oh, yeah. My dad was all over the Southeast, and so he met Coach Bryant. My wife and I actually got to go eat dinner with Coach Stallings at the Firefly here one night.
Oh, wow. Did you really?
Yeah, it was. There was a guy that lived in town who was really close with him, and he brought him in to speak to actually Bay Medical Center to speak to the employees, kind of like motivational speak. And he called me and he said, I got Coach Stallings in town. You and your wife want to go to dinner? And if I'd have said no, I'd been divorced.
Yeah, right.
And so we went, and I just sat off to the side, and my wife and Coach Stallings just talked Alabama football he's much like Coach Bowden. He's kind of like your grandpa, right?
You got a great voice,
true
too.
Southern gentleman, right?
Yeah.
You just sit there and you can listen to everything he has to say. You just hang on every word.
Yeah, I love him. All right, we'll be right back. We got to take a break. I got time to do some commercials? I do. Thank you so much. Hey, you want that yard look absolutely beautiful? It's incredible. Call Patrick, Turf Pro Pest Control. It'll look like Bobby Bowden Field. I mean, they do an unbelievable job. The trucks throughout Bay Point, heck, all over the Panhandle of Florida. Turf Pro Pest Control, Co-Pat, his crew come out there. Your yard look absolutely gorgeous. Paparazzi Gourmet Deli, 3 restaurants in one. The pizza's unbelievable. Think about that. John's retired police officer does an incredible job. He likes FSU too, by the way. Get down there, get the deli. Get everything's wrapped, ready to go to the beach. It's unbelievable. The bakery is incredible. Try the Paradise Cake. Unreal. Pizza's unbelievable. Paparazzi Gourmet Deli. Max Fit Sports Nutrition. Jason, give us a little, how's this new store going?
Store's going great. I mean, we've been open about 3 months now.
And you get ready to do a third opening?
Yeah, I think we are. We have opportunity to go into Biloxi, and there's GNC that went out of business that they want us to come in and take over. So it's just a huge opportunity. So hopefully October 1st, we'll have a third store, and we're excited about it. But Panama City is doing great. I mean, that's a great location on 23rd Street. That's basically the center of the economy over there. So we haven't visited our store. We're in the Del Coronado Village next to Granny Cantrell's. We have our InBody 570 to track results. We have a sample bar to try products before you buy them. We had a certified nutrition on staff to write customized meal plans, so you can come by there any day, try out products for free. We got local military first responder discounts daily, and we have our Pier Park location that's been open for 10 years that you can still visit and get everything that you need.
I think Chad's going to start that Robot MD, open up one of your stores and maybe do some work there.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah. All right, we'll be right back. Griff's with us this morning. Jason, Jim, 104.3, and Smitty, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Yeah, and you know, I hate the way that everybody kind of runs to 10 on the meter.
When you do this divorce thing, you have to plan it out right. If she wants the washing machine, you want the liner inside the washing machine. You know what I'm saying?
That kind of stuff. And on defense, we got to be able to line up.
Weekday morning 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Friday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, sunshine and a high of 92 with a moderate breeze out of the west-southwest at 13 miles per hour. For tonight, clear skies and a low near 82. Tomorrow, sunny and a high around 92. For Sunday, a mixture of mostly sunshine and a possibility of thunderstorms, a high of 93. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hey folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
Sykes Concrete has been in business in this area since 1947, and 3 generations later, they're still going strong. See Sykes Concrete for dirt, sand, rock, and concrete. They can handle any size job from the smallest to the largest. Sykes Concrete pays CDL truck drivers some of the highest wages in Bay County, making $50,000 to $75,000 a year, including holiday and vacation pay, plus health insurance. See Hugh Sykes at Sykes Concrete, 8030 Highway 77 on the right, just north of Southport Elementary School.
College football isn't life and death. It's much more important than that. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's time to... We're back. You all right? We're back. 104.3.
We died back there.
Hey, it's Friday. You can do that. Don't worry about that, man. Hell, we can leave now. 104.3 ESPN Northwest. We're back. Griff with us this morning. Jim Bob, Jason Kovaleski. Griff, seriously, if I really think it's going to happen. FSU and the SEC. You see most stadiums now, even you've been to Alabama games, they made it smaller. It's still over 100,000, but it's not as big as it was in the past because they put all these things they do toward all these upgrades. But at Florida State, if they could actually add on, Tommy Sandemont went and watched them practice the other day. His nephew or some relatives, a big booster, and they went with the AD, watched practice, and Tommy's watched all kind of practice through his career. He was a county AD for 23 years here in Bay County. He said the organization of practice was unbelievable. The way they work, nobody walks. It's really impressive, and he thinks they're going to be pretty doggone good. But they talked about the stadium, the things they're doing there, and in the future what they're going to do. But could you imagine if Florida State, like you talked about earlier, they used to play Auburn.
Yeah, great rivalry.
You got Georgia coming in. You got Auburn coming in. You got Alabama coming in. LSU coming in. You guys could add 15,000 people, and that's what you can just sell them to people coming in from the SEC opponents. I mean, they'll bring that many people.
Well, that's why it makes sense to go in the SEC, because how fun would it be for Florida State fans to drive to Athens or to drive to wherever? It's makes perfect sense. But yeah, Florida State, 80,000 average. We could go up for sure. And I mean, look, I remember as a kid, it was a big deal for me to go to the games, and we would collect the cups that fell through the stadium because it was like a metal erector set, and we'd take home 40 or 50 stadium cups. My mom used to love those ones when I'd bring a big old wad of chew back in that cup, and she had to clean it out. She liked those, but yeah, no, we've come a long way, but we still got a long way to go. It's nothing like I've been Bryant-Denny many times, and if you've never been to a night game in Bryant-Denny, in my opinion, you've really never seen, college football played in a atmosphere like that.
Yeah, I try to tell these two and other people at Michigan Eddie, I said, it's different. It's something different, man. When you're playing LSU, Auburn, Texas A&M, a big game at night there, it's just, It was some national guy. He came to a game. He was on a national radio. He did TV, but he said he wasn't working that night. He just wanted to go to the Alabama game, and I can't remember which one it was. Maybe it was Auburn. I don't know. But they interviewed him on a national radio show, and he goes, "Man, honest to God, I had no idea. It's something like I've never seen."
Yeah.
They did that Dixieland Delight, and everybody, 100-something thousand people singing and go. I saw Griff doing it at the LSU game. He sings pretty good, man.
You know who I live with, so I have to do what I'm told. But yeah, no, it's at night in Bryant-Denny when the lights are going and you can hear the elephant roar and all that. It's a pretty cool atmosphere. I tell even my Seminole buddies, I'm like, Bowden was so old school and traditional. Like now in between plays, where the stadiums are playing the music and all that. Bowden that was not happening until, heck, we were just teaching girls, 50, 68, 70 years ago. We just now got into the mainstream of college university with football. So I feel like we're a little behind in all of that. We're getting better every year. But Bryant-Denny is something everybody should put on the bucket list.
As Ohio State have those lights now, like Alabama, it can go black and it comes red, white. Anything they want to do, they can do.
I think they added the laser lights and the sound systems and everything like that. I mean, most big time college.
Why in the Big Ten? I guess because maybe the weather. The big deal in the Big Ten is a noon game. They want the noon game. 11 o'clock our time, noon up there. I don't get that.
The powers that be want the new game, and nobody else does. I mean, the players hate it. The fans hate it. Nobody wants to play at noon. I mean, these big-time games are played at night, and that was something Fox approached Big Ten with 2 years ago, I believe. I think it was last year. Urban was there, and they wanted to highlight the Big Ten where no other, big-time games were on. So they're having the big noon kickoff, and not many people liked it.
Griff, you made a comment a minute ago, and I'm with you 100%. I would love the national championship game to be played only in two places, New Orleans or Dallas. You've been to the Orange Bowl. Talk about why it's such a great experience in New Orleans. Everything's close together.
The greatest city for college football for a game like that. You don't want to play every game there, but those big bowl games and rivalry games, there's no greater place to the fan base, stays there. You can Uber or cab, but when the game's over, most people walk straight back to the quarter. Right. All your fan bases are out there having a big time kind of the game doesn't end. Right. You know what I mean? It's just kind of the fun starts.
It just spills off.
And it's safe. It is safe then when a game's on. They have plenty of police.
Depending on your
well, if LSU Ohio
interpretation
State, that's tough. That's tough
you definitely don't want to wander off a block or two off Bourbon, but you definitely stay. If you stay in the crowd, you're fine. And
if LSU wins and they're into the bot a little bit, you may want to maneuver a little bit.
I've been to an Alabama LSU game over there, and I always thought Miami fans were the rudest fans in the world, and they are. But LSU is really a pretty close second. When they get into the sauce a little bit, and that Alabama rivalry, I've seen it get heated.
Man,
it was heated. We went to the 2007 national championship game with Ohio State LSU, and I grabbed my mom's hand. We walked down. There were some fans that came up and told us what they thought of us, and you just keep it moving.
Yeah. Did you get to spend a couple? I like going staying 3 days when we go to the game. I don't like just getting there as a day game. I like staying about 3 days down there. All the fans, like you're talking about, you see them in the French Quarter. They're all together on Bourbon Street. It's just like a big, huge party everywhere.
Yeah,
we got all there about the game.
36 hours before, so the day before we went out, we went down Bourbon Street, we ate, we had a good meal, didn't go out too much that night. Then we went to the game, we went out after the game, and it was a lot of fun. There was a couple incidents that you just kind of have to move around and just keep your head down and move on, because there's always that guy that gets a little liquor in him that wants to do something. But for the most part, it was a tremendous time. LSU fans are great. They're super passionate, and that's a tough place to go play a national championship game against LSU, because
it's like a home field.
We last year went to Alabama was playing Saturday night. I think it's a Saturday night, because we stayed at the hotel Marriott where I think Florida State was staying. Yeah, they were. I think Florida State football
Canal
team.
Street.
Yeah. So where did you stay?
Royal Sonesta.
I like Royal Sonesta. We stayed there before too. But we went back to the room at night. Everybody's having a good time on Bourbon Street. I wanted to watch Bama. Got in there. We had a great time. We had Florida State. A lot of Bay County people were in there.
Oh, yeah.
We had a blast. But we didn't get the Bourbon Street experience at night that much because I wanted to watch that game.
Right.
And then after the game, it was a Sunday night. After the game, did you go back? Was it a lot of people on Bourbon Street after the game?
Yeah, there's still a lot of people moving around. The fan bases still stay pretty strong after those games. It's inevitable. even if you're tired or you lost, when you walk back to Bourbon, you go, you know what? Let's go. Maybe one more beer.
Or two. Yeah. Swallow our sorrows.
But yeah, no, it's the greatest little city. I wouldn't want to go hang out just to hang out in New Orleans, but when there's something like an event like that going on, man, it's so much fun.
I don't know I think you all were there. I think you were there. Oklahoma, Alabama, the playoffs in Miami. Mm-hmm. We went down there. We stayed. It's 40 minutes away.
Oh, it's awful.
You go there, get the game. It's hot during the game. We watched Oklahoma play the early game up under the stadium. And I wouldn't go to another one. I just don't like the Orange Bowl.
No, it's I think it was Alabama playing Oklahoma in New Orleans, and Florida State was playing Oregon. It was when Jameis's last year. Mm-hmm. Everybody goes into the Superdome to watch the football game. They leave me out by the RVs to watch Florida State get just destroyed by Marcus Mariota. And I was out there by myself in the RV lot, literally by myself, because every Alabama fan was inside the stadium.
I think it was Ohio State.
I think it was Ohio State. You're right.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there just looking around. I was like, I'm a prime victim. Like I'm a target out here. But you know what? It's completely safe, because that part when the game's going on, there's so much security. Everybody's paying attention to each other, and so it's a great environment. Really great environment.
And that was a sad night for us. Believe me, Ohio State whipped us. Lucky.
I think that was the first time we saw Derrick Henry run, though, wasn't it? And
that was the Oklahoma game.
Was that the Oklahoma game?
Yeah.
Man.
I think I saw y'all there.
I was like, look, who is this fella?
Lane Kiffin's last stint as offensive coordinator, though. They didn't replace him after.
Yeah, let me get this in real quick. We got to take a break. Beef O'Brady's. Pat will be in here Tuesday. He came in with you guys Tuesday, did a great job. Pat, you're talking about politician. He's a city commissioner, does a great job for Lynn Haven. But Beef O'Brady's in Lynn Haven, get out there on a Wednesday. They have the best special, man. Their wings are incredible. You get 10 drink and a side for $9.99. Of course, they have specials every day, but Wednesday's one of my favorite. Get out to Beef O'Brady's, watch all these sporting events, and tell Pat we sent you. Pat's a wonderful man. Love Pat. Dr. Ward, you can listen to him every Wednesday, 7:30. He talks about them Florida Gators that he loves, does a great job. 1 in 5 will develop skin cancer. It can be deadly. 5 minutes can save your life. He has offices throughout Northwest Florida. No excuses. If it doesn't look right, feel right, make an appointment, go see him. 5 minutes will save your lives. No doubt about that. Max Fit Sports Nutrition. Javison Kovaleski's right here. 2 great locations. Jason, traffic's not so bad now. I might get back to Pier Park.
Yeah, either location's great. We got the in-bodies at both. We got certified nutrition on staff at both of them, so you can get your customized meal plans. We have sample bar at both, so you can try products before you buy them. One thing we do have this weekend, we have our Max Fit Pro-Am bodybuilding classic this weekend at the Fort Walton Beach Fort Walton Beach Destin Convention Center. We got 40 IFBB pros. We got 60 amateur competitors, so it's going to be a huge show. It's going to be Saturday. Early show starts at 9 a.m. Tickets for the evening show start at 5, but you can get tickets at the venue. It's over in Fort Walton.
Is Michigan Eddie actually posing this week?
I hope not.
I
wish he was coming over there, because I love talking to Michigan Eddie, even though we're rivals, on the surface.
He's a great American. I will say he's a great American. That's about
he's just super passionate, which I love about college football. That's why I like college football versus NFL.
When we get back, Jeff Spiegel from Birmingham, Alabama, ABC. Be right back. 104.3 Alabama Update, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Cowherd. Rookie quarterbacks against Bill Belichick are 6-24. Not a shock that the Texans, in a rebuilding state, look bad offensively. At least C.J. Stroud did. Facing Belichick as a rookie is like teaching your kid how to drive in New York City.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Weekdays, ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Friday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, sunshine and a high of 92 with a moderate breeze out of the west-southwest at 13 miles per hour. For tonight, clear skies and a low near 82. Tomorrow, sunny and a high around 92. For Sunday, a mixture of mostly sunshine and a possibility of thunderstorms and a high of 93. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Great design is timeless, and that's why Tracy's Fine Jewelry inside Coin and Bullion Reserves offers a stunning selection of vintage, antique, estate jewelry on sale now at 40% off. Exquisite Victorian rings, Art Deco diamond brooches, Georgian and Art Deco bracelets, earrings, and pendants. These one-of-a-kind pieces add personality to any ensemble, and now at 40% off. Find your timeless treasure at Tracy's Fine Jewelry inside Coin and Bullion Reserves.
The Panhandle's destination for live play-by-play.
Lynn GSX, Lynn Aiden, WVLQ Port St. John, ESPN Northwest Florida.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies, new and vintage cards, and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at instantReplaySportsCards.com.
I don't always talk to Alabama fans, but when I do, I ask for large fries. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Roll Tide Roll. Alabama update. Brought to you by Stevenson Air Conditioning. Love Jason, does a great job. Don't go to some big national company. Go to the local people in Northwest Florida. Throughout the Panhandle, he can take care of you. Does a great job. Anytime, day or night. Jason, you know for a fact. Yours broke down. You call them. They're out there the same day. Everything's fine.
Got a leak. My temperature's 78. Called them. 3 hours. They came out. It's fixed. The air conditioner's good, so you can't beat it.
Stevenson Air Conditioning, number one. Not even close. He loves Alabama Crimson Tide. And we've got Mr. Crimson Tide himself, Jeff Spiegel, ABC out of Birmingham, Alabama. Been covering Alabama football since 1983. I wish you'd have been there in like 1973 where we could talk more about Paul Bear Bryant. But let's bring him on. Coach Jeff Spiegel, how you doing, sir?
Hey, listen now. I can talk 1973 all day long with you because I remember so many games, from that era. So, look, anytime I'm down in PC and we can stop and have a cup of coffee and, man, we could talk all day about that stuff. I eat that stuff up.
All right, question. You got to remember this. You're going to hurt my heart if you don't remember this player. Number 38, the biggest fullback Alabama's ever had back in the Wishbone days, Johnny Davis.
Johnny Davis.
You remember Johnny?
He never lost a yard, right, in his college career.
Whole career, never lost a yard. Played 10 years in the NFL, and him and I played together at Lanier High School in Montgomery, Alabama. Wow. Jeff, what they did, we were at Floyd Junior High. They would come get, like, the 3 junior highs. We had a huge school back then. They would pick up all of us after school from the junior high in March for spring football. They'd bus us over there. We'd get dressed. We'd go to practice. They had 100 players out there playing football. I was fortunate enough to play varsity coming out of junior high school. They put me at safety, and we're having a scrimmage. And I'm gonna, Coach Jordan's gonna know who I am. Right. I'm getting ready to knock Johnny Davis on his butt. They hand the ball off. I run up there, hit him head up, and the next thing I know, I turn around and look as I'm laying on my back and watching him run for a touchdown, and his footprint was in my chest. That's the hardest I've ever been hit in college football, except from Adam Hudson. Johnny was a man. Now, Johnny was a huge tailback at Lanier, and everybody in the country wanted this guy. He was unbelievable. I mean, his legs were huge. You saw him play in person. You know who he is. He was unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable ball player. His roommate was Ozzie Newsome. So, the first Sugar Bowl ever to be played in New Orleans in the Dome was Penn State, Alabama, 1975-76, day of 76, I think. Johnny gave me 2 tickets, so we drove there, watched the game, and like idiots drove back all night long to get back in Montgomery. But anyway.
Well, you were young.
Yeah, it was fun. So that's back when I was in love with Coach Paul Bear Bryant in Alabama. All right, we got to say hi to Griff Griffins. He is our state representative here, and he's in the studio. He wanted to hear your voice today. Say hi to Griff.
Hey, Griff, how are you?
I'm well. Thanks for bringing some insight into Coach Hale. I know you Alabama guys, you know, you live in a bubble, so I'm hopeful I'll learn a little bit today too.
Listen, Griff is a FSU guy. He married well, though. He married a lady that's highly intelligent, more so than somebody else in that relationship. But she is a big Bama girl, and they split it up. They go to Alabama home games and they go to FSU games.
We do.
And he's been honest about it, the difference in atmospheres and everything like that. And we've been talking about this morning about how a night game in Bryant-Denny is incredible, especially with the light show and everything, Dixieland Light, all that stuff's in there.
It's the bucket list. Everybody should put it on their list. It's great. It's a great environment.
All right.
Yeah, it's really cool for sure.
We just got a couple questions for you. I know Nick, I know you and Nick have a good relationship. Y'all do.
Yeah.
Y'all really do. I think he respects you probably more than the rest of them. I really believe that. I do. But can you go ahead and just tell us who the quarterback's going to be? Because I know you know.
Is the cake done?
Is the cake? Yeah. Can we put the icing on it? Is it chocolate, vanilla? Give us a hint.
Oh man, look, I don't have the first clue. Now I've heard quote unquote inside information that Milroe's the guy, or he's got the edge right now. And I would say this: with all things being equal, like if they're all equal at the end of the scrimmage, I think you got to, or at the end of the
camp,
the crunch time in fall camp, then you go with Milroe, because he's the guy with the more experience, and that's kind of what Nick Saban does. He likes to reward people who invest in the program and do all the right things and all that, and if all things are equal, Milroe gets the nod, I think. But no matter what happens in the NTSU game, it's the Texas game is big. So he could be the starter in the Texas game. He could be third string after the Texas game. I mean, because that is just a huge, huge football game on the schedule.
Yeah, do you remember the first game? Matter of fact, Griff, when they were at this game, it was the first game in Dallas. Well, maybe not. It was against Southern Cal. And Jalen was a true freshman. And they started like two other guys, I think, were 2 5-stars started ahead of him. But when everything was said and done, it was Jalen's job.
Yeah, Blake Barnett got the start, right?
Yeah, 5-star.
If I'm not mistaken.
Right, you're right.
Yeah. And then Hurts came in and just lit it up. And then, then we have the Hurts 2 thing. But, yeah. So, I mean, I think my gut feeling is Milroe's going to be the first guy going out there in the MTSU game. And but that's going to be part of the competition, how those guys, do in that game. Because that, it's a preseason game, basically.
Right.
And it's fine tuning before you get to the big one. And I don't think we can, oversell, the importance of that second game. I think it sets the tone for the entire year.
No doubt. Jeff, tomorrow, I believe, is their last scrimmage. Am I correct on that? Tomorrow's last scrimmage until the first game. Yeah. So yes. Won't this be it? I mean, this has got to be huge. The big scrimmage. I mean, Hugh Freeze already named the starting quarterback. He did it after one scrimmage and all week this week. Won't we have a better understanding who's the quarterback's going to be after Saturday? I know Nick's not going to say that, but wouldn't you think they'll know?
Yeah, I think the picture will be more clear. It's just going to be one of those things where, and we've seen this, a few times before, where, we're probably not going to know who the starter is until, he runs out there on the field, and takes the first snap. I don't think that information is going to be leaked out. There aren't many leaks there, in that Alabama program. But, the second scrimmage is huge. And then they'll look at that and then make the decision and see where they go from there. But, this is one of those things that, as Saban pointed out last week, that, the competition is going to go on the whole fall, and it's a week-to-week thing. And I love what he said about, force us to play you.
Yeah.
Play so well that, we have no other choice but to play you, rather than looking over your shoulder at what the coaches are saying and all that.
I love that.
I think that was great.
I thought that was great.
So good.
But I'll tell you what, knowing firsthand experience from this, it can go against you because at Southern Mississippi, I did everything to show them that I can't play. So it goes both ways.
Oh, yeah, I've been there.
All right. Who is the next? I mean, Nick keeps talking about this tight end. Impact player, 6'4", 233, 4-star sophomore. Who's the tight end? I didn't write the name down. Who's the big stud tight end he's talking about?
Oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank myself.
I should have wrote his name.
Threw me for a loop there.
Yeah. He's new. No, maybe he's been there. I don't know, but he keeps talking about this 6'4", 233-pound former 4-star. And the guy's out of Clearwater, Florida. I should have probably wrote his name down. That would have helped. But
is that the transfer from Maryland?
Yes.
Is that Dupre? TJ Dupre?
Is he from Clearwater, Florida?
Yeah, he's real high on a guy from Maryland.
That's got to be him.
Is it Amari in the black?
That might be it.
That might be it.
Look it up. See if he's out of Clearwater. 6'4", 233. Sophomore tight end. He goes on. He's been talking about this guy. I cannot believe I didn't write his name down. I got all this other information
from St. Pete.
Yeah, that's him.
Amari in the black.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, they say Nick said I watched the other day when he's talking about it. He said he's blocking better. He catches the balls, making big plays out there. He's worked really hard, bigger, stronger. Just went on about him because you know how he doesn't really brag on people unless they deserve it. So I'm kind of excited about this guy right here. And talk to us, too, this freshman safety, or he can play a lot of positions. Downs, I heard he's a stud.
Yeah, he's certainly, and you know, the players, you always get a good idea, too, when the players, are talking up the guys, and the other DBs talk about just how he's way ahead. One of those freshmen that's playing like a senior, who's just, well-taught, well-schooled, got good fundamentals, good ball skills, and this guy's got, the next big deal when it comes to DBs, and there have been a lot of them there, to come out of Alabama. So he's going to be pretty good.
Jeff, I tell you what, I hate we need to have you on for about an hour instead of 15 minutes. I enjoy this so much. Thank you so much for coming on. I know you're a busy man. How's everything going up there? You pumped up? You ready to go for this season?
Oh, yeah, everything's good, Coach. When we get together, we can talk about that 73 Virginia Tech game when they beat the Gobblers.
77-7. Yeah. That same year, they beat that same year, they beat Cal 66-6, and Auburn's got Cal this week, this coming up season. So
my mom and dad went to that Cal game, and they brought me back a program from that game, and so I'll never forget that one either. That was a great year.
Yeah, I remember Johnny always telling me Coach Bryant was really heartbroken, said that probably the worst mistake he ever did was let me get away to Southern Mississippi. as far as you know. Don't ask Johnny that question, though. Just take my word. Hey, buddy, we'll talk to you next week. Thank you so much.
All right, see you later.
See you, man.
Bye-bye. All right, let's talk about some of our great people. Don't forget about Stevenson Air Conditioning. Get a service about every 6 months, okay? It lasts longer, save you a little bit of money. It's the only thing you can buy that will save you money when your power bill. You get an old system, all it does is run, and it doesn't really cool the house down. Go to Stevenson. They'll come out and measure everything up. They'll get you exactly what you need. Stevenson Air Conditioning, #1. J. Michael's Restaurant, Chris Fish, a special day. Grilled chicken, better rice, special sauce, peppers, onions, incredible. But everything's good at J. Michael's. The coldest beer you get anywhere. J. Michael's Restaurant on Thomas Drive. Don't forget about Chuck Tucker. All real estate needs. South Oak Title and Closing, #1. We'll be right back. Auburn Tigers, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents The Race to Daytona. It's your chance to win tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400 Saturday, August 26th from historic Daytona International Speedway. Listen to Coach Hale mornings at 8:45 for the keyword of the day. When you hear it, text the keyword and your name to 850-215-6290. Then listen in the afternoon at 4:40 if we announce your name, race to the phones. How long it takes you to call back is your qualifying time. The fastest qualifying time was a pair of tickets to Daytona from ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Friday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, sunshine and a high of 92 with a moderate breeze out of the west-southwest at 13 miles per hour. For tonight, clear skies and a low near 82. Tomorrow, sunny and a high around 92. For Sunday, a mixture of mostly sunshine and a possibility of thunderstorms, a high of 93. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linden. Call 850-320-8388.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local from the J. Michael Studio.
They got something that money couldn't buy. I was noticing when you come down the stairs that you've got pretty legs. All right, I'll tell you a story without a happy ending. Y'all following this?
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Whoa, Eagle. Hey, Martha, Kenny, James Gualamar, Jenna. Jenna's had a birthday. I think she gets younger looking every year. Great people, great family. They love those Auburn Tigers, just like Pat. Beef O'Brady's. Beef O'Brady's sponsors the Auburn Update. Get out to Beef O'Brady's over in Lynn Haven. Have a great time. Tell them Coach sent you. Pat does a great job. Love you, Pat. All right, let's talk about the Auburn Tigers. Griff, I want to ask you. You watch college football. You cover it. We got to give the guy credit. Hugh Freeze has done a really good job. They have, 40-something new players. I got written down some of the exact number. But he's got really good transfer players that come into play at Auburn. He's recruiting that kid they got out of Foley, the big next Julio Jones, 5 stars, been committed to Alabama all this time. I said, well, keep on this one. If they get him, they really knock out of the ballpark. They did. They stole one from Georgia, the 5-star linebacker. They get this kid receiver. They're doing a great job. If you're an Auburn fan out there, good days are coming to Auburn. What's your input on that?
Yeah, if I was an Auburn fan, I'd probably be excited. I think Coach Freeze probably, we know he's a good coach. I mean, right? He beat Alabama back-to-back and went up to Liberty and made what, is a Christian university a conversation piece in the national media. Yeah.
Top 25 team.
Yeah. And so he's a coach. I'd be excited if I was them. Like you say, what he's done in the portal and bringing those people, we just don't know what NIL money's being thrown around. If you got colleges that got some boosters that say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna sling you $1 million and you just use it like you want. That you can change. It's changed the face of college football, but it's really changing every day more and more. And so I give him credit, but I also know that it's not quite like what it used to be when you had to go out and really recruit that guy. Now you got a little bit of money you can throw him.
All right, I had all my Bama boys raising Cain about losing his receiver. They said he went to every home game wearing Bama stuff, just on and on about Alabama, dead on going to Bama.
Doesn't matter.
He said Tiger Week, they had his family up there, and the word on the street was they gave him an NIL deal close to $3 million or over $3 million. I said, so what? If that's true, you had your opportunity to do it. We could have gave him
3.1.
Yeah, yeah. So don't cry about that. This is all legal.
Alabama.
If it's true, it's all legal. So
right.
what?
Yeah, it's legal now. So you gotta. And I don't blame these kids who, look, they probably a lot of them coming from fatherless homes and never had any, 2 nickels to rub together, and now they're getting this opportunity to change their family, not just them, but their families. And so I don't blame them a bit for following the money a little bit.
All right. Question. Should Hugh Freeze be punished? Sandra Bullock, give back your Oscar. Give Reggie Bush his Heisman. I mean, The Blind Side. What was Hugh Freeze deal in this?
I have no idea. I've read up a little bit on it.
I really don't know much about that.
I just don't know what's true in that situation now, because obviously the young man lived with them and benefited from the relationship, and now after some money's been made off the movie, maybe have some questions on how that was divvied up and how honest they were with him on the conservativeship or whatever it was. So I totally have no clue what's going on with that, to be honest.
And the family are millionaires.
Right.
I mean, he's got all these. He said, "What all these restaurants, all this kind of stuff." They're not. So what? How much money they get? Remember what it was?
A couple million or something from the movie, at least.
Yeah. You sure is that much?
I thought so, but just from what I read.
Divided up 4 people.
Right. It was divided up.
Yeah.
It's family squabble.
Yeah. You would think he got some money out of the movie, though.
Well, he was an NFL player for 12 years. It's not like he's hurting for money either. So who knows what goes on with that?
Yeah, that's a shame, especially if they were trying to do the right thing for that kid.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it obviously worked out. Yeah, obviously worked out.
Yeah, everybody's in a good spot. I mean, I don't see anything bad happening from either relationship for him. He made the NFL, played 10 years, made a lot of money. They obviously are in a good spot too, so I don't know what's going on, and I think there's a little hurt feeling somewhere.
Yep.
All right, quarterback, Thornton, the Michigan State quarterback. It will be Auburn's starting quarterback. That's the word up there. And we've been hearing that since he's gotten there. The summer workouts, he looked really good working out with the team. They like him. He's fitting in well up there. I feel bad for Ashford. Robbie is an unbelievable. I watched him at Hoover. Jamie covers those games up there, so I'd go up there sometimes. And I watched him play hockey. He's like a man playing with kids. He's 6'4", 220. His legs, he's like you. He's like a bodybuilder. He's a good-looking guy. If he could get his passing going the way he can run, he'd be a Heisman Trophy quarterback. I mean, he's talented like you wouldn't believe. But this other kid, the word being consistent. Yeah. Robbie wasn't consistent. Kind of like Eddie when they played quarterback for us. One time the ball was perfect. Next time it was in the ground, we moved him receiver in safety. At that position, you can't be 50-50. It's got to be perfect every time. One good thing about Auburn with that offensive line, they're going to be quarterbacks have time to throw the football. Yeah. They got 3 guys transferred in that can play. I think Auburn's going to be a little bit better than what people think. I don't know if I have enough time to get this in today, but I'm going to try.
He's an underrated quarterback. He made some big throws at Michigan State. He just didn't have anything. The offense wasn't designed like Hugh Freeze is going to design an offense for him, but he throws a really good deep ball. He's not somebody who's going to wow you with athleticism, but he's going to put the ball where it needs to be, and I think they're going to be pretty good this year. I know some people are saying 6-6. I'm looking more 8-4, maybe knocking off of Georgia or somebody here, because Hugh can coach, and he's not scared of Georgia. He's not scared of Alabama. He went into Alabama, beat them a couple times at Ole Miss, so I think they're going to be really good fast.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, here's the deal. They're going to run that. Their defensive players, they interviewed them and said, man, practice has changed so much. He said, they go so fast on offense. And he did that when he's at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
They get a lot of play. But we haven't really talked about this much. The game's going to change next year. The clock's going to continue to run on first downs.
I hate that.
A lot less plays. And I think that's another reason Saban's going back to run the football.
Right.
Eat that clock up, keep these teams off the field. How do you think this affects this offense? They won't get the snaps they've got before, especially if the defense can't stop somebody else from running the football.
I think it's going to change it a little bit. I mean, obviously it has. It's going to shorten the game, shorten possessions. I do think people are going to be more conscious of controlling the football and time management. But, at the end of the day, these offensive coordinators that are air raid, that throw the ball over the place, they're not going to change. I mean, it's just too much of an advantage to be able to throw the football now with offensive linemen being able to be 3 yards downfield. You don't have illegal contact rules or stuff like that the DBs can manhandle the wide receivers. So it's an offensive football game. So I don't see the offenses changing too much. I just see maybe some tweaks here and there from guys that want to control the clock a little bit more.
I'm going to hold. I got some other things in Auburn. I'm going to hold off for Monday on that because it's going to take a little bit longer, and I want to get to something else. They came out with a survey. They talked about SEC football, best conference for rivalries in the country over the Big Ten. Let's see if we agree with this. The number one, this one in the Ohio State-Michigan game, we in the South say this one's the number one. You guys say the Big Ten. Well, maybe your guys more because it's more national.
It's been longer,
two different states.
110 years.
And we didn't play for 40-something years, so we couldn't get along.
Yeah.
We were shooting at each other. But the number one best rivalry in the SEC, this is what they have, Alabama-Auburn. This is the best rivalries in the SEC. The next one they think is going to be as good as any country, and it is right now, the Red River. You got Texas, Oklahoma.
That's a good one.
You've got...
I think Georgia, Florida might be a little...
Well, yeah.
When Florida's relevant.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe not recent, but...
They call this, I didn't know what they would call this. Oh, the love-hate bowl, or whatever this... Okay, Texas A&M, that's getting ready to happen again. That's going to be up there. The Deep South, oldest rivalry, the one you're talking about, Auburn, Georgia.
Yeah, Auburn, Georgia.
The third Saturday in October, Alabama. That used to be a big deal.
Tennessee.
Alabama, Tennessee. I grew up with that one. I love that. Egg Bowl, Thursday night
Those
game.
are nasty.
Yeah, Mississippi State, Ole Miss.
They hate each other legitimately.
They
broken legs, all kinds of penalties. And
pee on each other.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Causes each other.
No love.
The Golden Boot, LSU, Arkansas. The Saban Bowl. I didn't know they called it the Saban Bowl. LSU, Alabama. That's an unbelievable rivalry. I love going to that game.
It's a great game.
Then you got Tennessee, Kentucky. You got Georgia, Florida. You got Tennessee, Georgia. You got Tennessee, Florida. So, Griff, we'll start with you because I know what these two are going to say. I do believe the best rivalries are in the SEC compared to the Big Ten. What say you?
Yeah, no, I would agree. Well, but, look, we know that this Southeastern football is just different than the rest of the country. I think it's proven time and time again when these outlier teams from out west or they make it to the end of the season and then they get placed against Notre Dame, Alabama, go back to that bowl game years ago where Alabama within 5 minutes of that game, everybody said, this is over. Yeah. This is over. It's different football. And I just think we play it different down here, and the rivalries are just different.
It just means
and they go on, like Jason said, some of them are 100-plus years old, and there's deep-seated hatred. There's neighbors, across the street from each other that for 364 days a year, they're best friends, and then on that Saturday, they hate each other's guts. I got a good friend. He calls it Skip Day, and I said, "What's Skip Day?" He said, and he's an Alabama fan. He said, "When you wake up and you beat Auburn, and your neighbor's an Auburn fan," he said, "and you skip to get your newspaper." And so, there's true hatred there.
All right, we want to thank Beefo Braves and Lynn Haven for the Auburn update. And I got some good stuff on Auburn Monday. I have Chad Mitchell. We'll get the whole 15 minutes on Auburn. We get back, I'm going to let you and Jim get a chance to tell us what we don't know about the Big Ten. Maybe there's some rivalries. Because I'll be honest with you, to me it's Michigan, Ohio State. The rest of them up there doesn't excite me. Penn State, Ohio State, I like watching. I used to watch Michigan State, Michigan play. But we'll give you your time. We'll be fair and balanced here. Okay?
Army, Navy.
Right. From the 1890s.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about some. Jason, I'm going to talk to you. You're here this morning. Let's get some love to Max Fit Sports Nutrition.
Yeah, we got two great locations, one in Pier Park North, one in Del Coronado Village next to Granite Cantrells. We got our InBody 570s where we track results, free sample bar. We got local military first responder discounts daily. So come out, check out each store. We got a certified nutritionist on staff if you're kind of struggling with your diet that can help. So just check out either location, and we'll be at the Max Fit Pro-Am Bodybuilding Classic this weekend in Fort Walton. We got 40 IFBB pros, 60 amateur competitors that are going to be a huge show at the convention center over there. So come check that out. It starts at 9 a.m. You can get tickets for the night show at the door, and that starts at 5 p.m.
Never been to one. You need to go. It's pretty cool. You don't have to be a great athlete. You get any type of injury, call Chad Mitchell, legendary doctor here in the Panhandle. Call him, make an appointment. He'll take care of you. Guys, incredible. Don't forget about El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill happy hour 3 to 7. Buy one, get one free. Lunch specials Monday through Friday. Tell them Coach sent you. It's a great place. Rudy's Barbecue on Bat Beach Road. The best barbecue you'll get anywhere. But I'm telling you right now, try their turkey. There's something about it. It's incredible. Go to Rudy's. Tell them Coach sent you. We'll be right back. Griff's with us. Jason Kovaleski and Jim Brown. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the Race to Daytona. It's your chance to win tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400 Saturday, August 26th from historic Daytona International Speedway. Listen to Coach Hale mornings at 8:45 for the keyword of the day. When you hear it, text the keyword and your name to 850-215-6290. Then listen in the afternoon at 4:40 if we announce your name. Race to the phones. How long it takes you to call back is your qualifying time. The fastest qualifying time was a pair of tickets to Daytona from ESPN Northwest Florida. Barbaritos lets you say yes to fresh. If you don't know what to eat or where to get it, well, fret no more. Barbaritos is here to help with its healthy menu, offering 7 meals with less than 500 calories. Barbaritos has lots of healthy options made with farm fresh food. Your health and your family's health matters to us. Come eat healthy at Barbaritos, 23rd Street in the Stanford Station Shopping Center near Academy Sports. Barbaritos, food, community, people.
Chuck was terrible at fishing. He spent many frustrating hours attempting to get results he saw from internet videos, aggravating trial and error fishing trips, and misguided advice from well-intended friends. Chuck is happy now with his newfound success after he visited Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, where we keep fishing fun, simple, and successful. See us soon at Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, located directly off Highway 98 on the west end of Panama City Beach.
Take your next adventure in an award-winning Kia from Bill Bird Kia. The SUV family has movement that inspires, and we invite you to test drive the new 2023 Kia Soul, Seltos, Sportage, Sorento, or Telluride. You can command the road in a sedan from Bill Bird Kia. Drive away today in a new 2023 Rio, Forte, K5, or Stinger, and discover the all-new Kia at Bill Bird Kia. 2435 East 15th Street, Panama City, or anytime at BillBirdKia.com. Peace of mind you can trust at your local community dealer, Bill Bird Kia.
Give him a call. Phone lines are open. 850-215-6290. The Coach James Hale Show is taking your calls live and local. From the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Thank you, Michigan Eddie, for the information about the Blindside movie. Appreciate that. Griff, I want to switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about this LSU Florida State game. Jim, you guys help me with this. This is an article I read. I thought we would share this with FSU fans, knowing what to expect in this game week 1. 5 areas where LSU will be better and worse in 2023. They're going to be better, and I really believe this, no doubt about this. They're going to be better in 2023 across the board. Your first year as a head football, and you know you've been a head football coach.
Who are you talking? You said they? You just talking about LSU?
LSU, Florida State.
Okay.
Okay.
So LSU is better now?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to be clear because it wasn't clear.
I'm going to the 5 areas that LSU is going to be better in 2023. I'm sorry. I should have made it better clear. I apologize. Hey, can you see this? All right.
You're number 1 in his book.
The first year coaching is tough. The players got to get used to the coach and the coaching staff, vice versa. Year 2 is a lot easier, a lot smoother. It's like in the business world. You run a business, you learn what your mistakes you made. Number 1 area they're going to be the better in, rushing the football. They got almost the entire offensive line back. They played some young guys last year. They got good running backs. They got depth there. They didn't last year. They got some depth there. They've recruited well. They've had guys transfer in. They have offensive linemen that have experience. This year, running the football will be better for LSU. Do we all agree on that? That's what they're saying. I agree with it. I think they will run the ball better.
I think just having your offensive line returning, you should be able to run the ball.
I think they got like 15 returning starters or something. And so I'm going to give them credit. But I also feel like that LSU's getting a little bit of bump because of the Alabama victory last year. Yeah. Because after that, I mean, they were just all right. I mean, they didn't.
Breaking news: Georgia just scored again.
They could have lost 5 games last year. I mean, they were in some close games. Yeah. It wasn't like they just blew through everybody and then beat Alabama at the end of the year. I mean, they had a chance to lose a couple more games.
Right, and so I feel maybe they'll run it a little better with when you got that type of returning line. You're going to run the ball better. You hope.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably so. But I think Florida State's got a really good running attack too. They got a lot of running.
Florida State's got a good defensive line.
That's what I'm saying. Defensive, what they have
That's
at
gonna be
the
a good
portal,
matchup.
the defensive end. That's probably ranked the number one defense end.
Jared Versus will be he'll be a top round draft pick, and the transfer guy that's on the other side, they're saying those two could be, Mambo Jumbo. He'd be crushing
Versus
people.
was a problem in that game last year.
Tommy said they're huge.
They're monsters.
Big. All right, number 2 area they believe LSU's going to be better than they were last year. Number of touchdown passes. I didn't realize this. They only threw for 17 touchdown passes as starting quarterback.
Wow,
that was 9th in the SEC. I didn't realize that. LSU has talented receiver. Again, they've got some transfers coming in. They recruit at a high level. And the quarterback. I think it's huge when you have your quarterback coming back. This kid, Daniels, can run and throw. He can extend plays. I do believe he'll have more than 17 touchdown passes. I do think they'll be better there. What say you guys?
I think for sure 17 is a very low number. That shocks me, to be honest, just to hear that. Yeah. So I'd say way above.
If they're going to be relevant, they're going to have more.
Right.
Yeah. Otherwise, they're going because that's just not that's in the slinging ball offenses we see these days. You got to throw more than that.
Jim, FSU's secondary versus LSU's passing offense. How do you feel? How do you think that breaks down?
To me, I think the biggest difference in that matchup is LSU's quarterback running the ball, scrambling.
Yes.
Because he's a very good runner, and the receivers, DBs, probably is kind of even. I don't know. It's hard to predict this, in advance, but if he can scramble, because I know as a defensive coach and a head coach, I hated when the other team had a quarterback who was an athlete. I mean, a real athlete.
Yeah.
Because that changes everything that you do.
Yeah.
So I think the quarterback, LSU's, what's his name, Daniels? I think his running could be the difference.
Yeah. Griff?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, look how dangerous Jordan Travis is with his feet.
Right, same thing.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's the same thing. And I think if the portal, Florida State didn't really go for the defensive backs very hard in the portal because they're happy with what they had on the field. So I think there's some questions there about how much depth and how strong we are really in that defensive back.
I think this is the one area that LSU does have an advantage because they have 3 receivers, to me, that can play anywhere in college football. I mean, maybe Ohio State with Marvin Harrison Jr. not playing, but, they got a kid that's top 3, probably NFL
That's what they're saying, yeah.
So that's the one area. But what makes up for a good, maybe an average secondary, a good front 7. I mean, if you get after the quarterback and he doesn't have time to throw, and they're going to be athletic. So I have, full belief that Florida State's going to have a good secondary. It's a little unknown right now.
Yeah, agreed.
This is a stat we've all forgotten about. This shocked me right here. Last year, LSU only averaged, this is special teams, which is a third of the game. Every time they returned a punt, they averaged only 3.3 yards of positive yards.
Wow.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
That's like one of the worst in the SEC.
Yeah, that's not good.
They got those athletes you talking about, receiver. They got the running back, so they're going to put a good kid back there can handle the ball. That will be improved. They guaranteed this. The coaching staff guaranteed this, but they said this is one area they'll definitely be better in. They only returned the ball for positive yards like 16 times.
That makes a little sense. At this day and age, just secure the football, get the ball back. I mean, there's not a lot of teams that are.
Well, the kickoffs, I can see it.
Right, the kickoffs.
Fair catch, but the punts, the punt returns, this is they're going to be better here in a close football game. Who wins the kicking game? Who has a better kicking game? There's question marks on FSU's special teams too. This is a big deal.
Right.
Who's going to be better on special teams this year? Who do y'all think? LSU? This is just one part of it. Their kicking coverage was good because both these teams have athletes. But the return, who's better? I'd give it to FSU right now after I saw this.
Yeah, I mean, based on that stat, but, how many punt returns are they being allowed to return? I mean, if they've only returned 16 punts on the year, that just means that they're just trying to secure the ball, get the ball back, and put their offense on the field, which is Brian Kelly's more personality, which is more of a conservative coach that's not going to take a whole lot of chances turning the ball over. He's like Saban in that fashion. So
keep on the kicking game in this game.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think Florida State's going to have some that's definitely a question for us. We didn't have the strongest, and I think there's still after Micah Pittman left. I think returning the punts, there's still there's a competition going on for who they're going to put back there. Destin Hill looks like he might be the guy that gets it right now.
Tommy was at practice, and I asked him a question yesterday. I said, "What about their kicking game, the kickers and stuff?" He said, We're good. Believe me, I watched them in practice. They can kick.
Yeah, Fitzgerald had some trouble last year, but hopefully he'll get it together.
All right, number 4, improved area for LSU, run defense. They were only 7th in the SEC last year. They allowed 148 yards per game last year. LSU returns 3 of the top 4 tacklers on the team. Again, they got, like you pointed out, 15 stars coming back. They think they're going to be able to stop the run next year. How's that match up with FSU's O-line?
I think that's going to be a big matchup because I think Florida State runs the ball pretty well. They got a lot of good running backs. Their
and the quarterback can run, like you pointed out.
Yeah.
But that kid at LSU, what's his name? Perkins,
yeah.
That kid's the real deal.
Yeah.
No, but he just plays on one side. If he was a linebacker where he can make plays both sides, that'd be a lot more of a threat. If you can run away from him and they can cut him off, that will help a lot because he's really good.
I also think they're starting to move him around a little bit more too, and I think we're going to see that. He's an outside linebacker. Yeah, he's going to be on the weak side. You're going to switch him out where the matchups are. Maybe play him as a little spy in the middle of the field at times. But to me, he's a difference maker on that defense and a guy I want to see play because I think he's the best outside rusher, whether you want to call him an outside linebacker, defense end.
Jason, that's what I said last week. I said the key to me in this football game is how they handle him.
Right.
Yeah.
They're going to have a back chip off him, more or less double team him, a tight end, stay home sometimes, whatever, because he can handle the whole game by himself. He's like Will Anderson.
I thought he was the best pass rusher in college football last year.
He was a freshman, a true freshman last year.
But he just produces. So that's a guy you have to know where he is on the field at all times, and that's going to be one of the challenges for Florida State's offensive line, identifying them, setting up coverages and packages to be able to block him.
I think that Florida State, though, we got our local boy C.J. Campbell who's in there, Trey Benson.
Yeah.
We got some guys, and Jordan can run the ball too. So there's a triple threat at any given play back there, and fresh legs. That makes a difference.
What I like to do against a guy like that is run at him. Can he hold up in the run game? And pull a guard, hit him every play. Have that tackle and tight end double team him. Just get him out of the play and run at him. Make him be physical.
I'm like Jim. If he's over here, let's go. Let's just check off.
The problem is, as fast as he is, he's probably going to walk down the running back, and he's not going to get blocked. So.
All right, the last area they said they're going to improve a lot in, third down pass defense. They were just 39% on third downs getting the other team off the field. Only 39%. I didn't realize that. That was last year. That was bad for 2022. LSU allowed too many third and long. They would do pretty good first and second down, third and long. They give up the big play, they get first down. That's one thing they said they worked on during spring.
Right.
That will be better. But I tell you what, going against FSU's quarterback, you better be good on third down because he, with his legs, like Jim pointed out, with his legs, he can tuck it and run the ball and score. Not just get a first down, he can take it to the house.
Yeah, he's and he's got some years under his belt now. This is not Jordan Travis of 3 years ago who was running around a little scared. He is a grown man now. He's in the conversation, for Heisman. I think he's going to go out there and show out his last year. And you're right. If it's third and there's 6, 8, 9 yards to go, you better watch out. It might be a sneak.
Yep. All right, I want to apologize. I didn't talk. Did I even mention it today? If I didn't, I apologize.
No, you were busy today. You
man,
got a full house.
I got 3 studs in here, man. I'm trying to control this thing, right? And Michigan Eddie ruined the show this morning.
Keep him straight here, Wildcat.
All right, the race to Daytona. It's time to give you an opportunity to win 2 tickets to the race of Daytona. And that race is when? August 26th?
At 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Historic Daytona International Speedway.
Go ahead, take off.
Okay, all you got to do is text. Now, don't call us because we got some calls yesterday. But text to 850-215-6290. Text the word LAP, L-A-P, as in the final lap, first lap, white flag lap. LAP, text that word to 251-6290, and then listen to the Afternoon Underdogs at about 4:40 or so. They're going to pull a name out of the hat, and if it's your name, you've got to call them, and as quick as you call them, they're going to be timing it. As quick as you call them, that's going to be your trial time. And whoever has the best lap, wins the tickets.
I just got a text.
And I just got a couple of phone calls.
I just got a text. Did he say clap or did he say lap? You talking about lap dance or clap? What are they asking the question?
LAP as in lap dance. Yeah.
Okay. Now we're into the
Everybody will know what that is.
Exactly.
That clarifies it. Yeah.
All right. Win yourself. I hope you win the chance. Get a chance to go to the race. Anyway. Hey, don't forget about Paparazzi Gourmet Deli on Thomas Drive. Go get you a great piece. It's unbelievable. Dr. Ward, Wednesday 7:30. Newbies. Get newbies. Have a great time. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Hey, is your mom?
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The tradition continues.
That ball is going to be out of here.
The Atlanta Braves play here.
Bombs away.
The Atlanta Braves are back and making a statement.
Head first slide, 2 RBI triple.
Listen to Atlanta Braves baseball and a rich audio experience live on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Here comes the thunder.
Sponsored by Bestway Portable Buildings, Dave & Buster's, PCB Hobby, and Gulf Coast Aquarium.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Friday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, sunshine and a high of 92 with a moderate breeze out of the west-southwest at 13 miles per hour. For tonight, clear skies and a low near 82. Tomorrow, sunny and a high around 92. For Sunday, a mixture of mostly sunshine and a possibility of thunderstorms and a high of 93. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for keeping that dial at ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
Hi folks, it's Tracy with Tracy's Fine Jewelry and Coin and Bullion Reserves. Did you know that we do more than just sell some of the finest jewelry in town? We can engrave on your wedding band, locket, Yeti cup, or almost anything. Need your watch battery changed? We can do that too. Our expert will even evaluate your coin collection. And of course, we always pay top dollar for your old gold and silver jewelry. See, there's a lot more to Tracy's Fine Jewelry than a lot of pretty sparkly things. Come and see us today at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
And here we go. The #1 SEC call-in show is now twice as big. The Paul Feinbaum Show. Weekday evening 6 to 10. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Go Tigers!
Tigers.
Hey, I'm telling you now, it's unbelievable. When we were at the FSU game last year, and that LSU band came on there, and they do that dun dun dun, that place goes crazy.
I bet.
I mean,
they're
was
passionate
impressed.
fans, man. They are passionate.
That was a loud game. I mean, every time there was a big roar. It was cool, man.
It was a good game.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Didn't you get beat up for wearing the wrong gear at that game?
Your son.
Yeah.
Did he rat you out?
My idiot son. Hey, Florida State people were great. I wore a white Alabama coaching shirt. Okay. It just had a small A on it.
It's an LSU game.
Yeah,
LSU in New Orleans.
Yeah. So
at night,
Jared,
you're lucky he's still around.
Myra Reed, we went met Myra Reed and her friend right by the bar near the stadium.
She's huge LSU.
Yeah, she loves them.
Rabid.
So we're cutting up with them. All these LSU people around there, they're fine. They see it. They're great because they're older. As we walk closer to the stadium, there's all these student body,
young cats.
Young cats. And my son goes, "Hey, look at this old man for Alabama."
Oh, no.
And they
Go
all
get you beat up.
No, you know how they are.
Oh, yeah.
I got cussed out. I mean,
Where are you going, boy?
I'm serious. So I was pretty cool at first. Then I got pissed a little bit. And I said, I come to watch a good football game, Roll Tide, and I walked off. I got out of there. But
I believe you got that out.
Yeah.
So my wife won't let me wear it. She'll let me wear either crimson or white, but she will not let me wear the letter because it goes back to years, but there was like 8 or 9 games in a row I went to Alabama. They lost.
I remember that.
And we were at the Sugar Bowl, and I think it was Oklahoma. It was the Oklahoma game, and we were packing up. And she pulled the shirt out of my suitcase that had a little A on it because I'd only wear it that she bought it. And she said, "You're leaving that here." And she said, "You're never allowed to wear the letter again. There's no love in your heart. You got to wear only the colors." So now when we go to Tuscaloosa, she'll buy me like a red polo shirt or a white polo shirt or something.
We saw them. I saw you and your wife at some restaurant. We had Mike with us. We took Mike, Jamie, Mariah, Jerry. We all went to the Sugar Bowl, had a blast. We stayed about 3 days. But I remember talking to your wife that game. And that's when Derrick Henry, as a freshman, tore it up.
Came out and showed us what the future was going to look like with monster running backs.
He was awesome, man. The mayor says instead of wearing Alabama gear, you should have worn a Burger King hat. Thank you, Greg Bernicki. I appreciate it. He's talking to you, I think.
Brudnicki's a good Seminole. We're all right. We take care. Yeah, listen. I love my Seminoles, and I'm just quiet about Alabama with my wife because I have to go home at night.
Right. Greg, you got to come be on the show. I know you have to drive a little bit further, but Bill Allen walks in here and interrupts us, so we'd love to have you come.
Oh, you need to get the Italian Stallion in here. That would be a lot of fun.
Let's get them all 3 in here at the same time.
Well, we were down by, in Pound. He'd come in.
Yeah.
He'd come in, talk, and everything. He's great. He knows sports.
You know, the difference is those of us that live on the beach, we're not really afraid to cross that bridge.
Right.
They don't want to come here.
Well, because their whole lives they've been taught, if you cross that bridge, you're going to get in trouble out there on that beach. So they're just brainwashed. They don't realize we're okay out here.
And now we're supporting them.
Now we do everything. Yeah.
We support you guys over there.
That's right.
Unbelievable. All right, LSU, worse in 2023. Takeaways. Last year they did good. They were 6th in the SEC. They got 11 fumbles. They had 9 interceptions for a total of 20 takeaways. They think it will dip this year. These experts think that. Who knows?
There's no way to know that.
That's a hard one.
I just think their defense is going to be good, so that's all I care about, really.
All right, number 2, red zone defense. They were 5th in the SEC in 2022. 5th's pretty good out of and being the SEC, and they're in the red zone. I think they're going to be pretty good. Last year, they were really good. I can't read my writing, so red zone defense is huge. I don't know why they think it's going to dip. I think they're going to be better.
Like I said, I think the defense is going to be better this year just because they're a year older and they got some holes they filled in the secondary. So all these numbers, I think, are either going to be comparable. They had a good year last year, but I think their defense overall is going to be good. So I don't really pay a whole lot of attention.
Now, this one, if it's bad this year, I do think FSU will win the football game, if this is true. They think their pass defense will not be as good as last year. Last year, per game, they gave up 206 yards per game passing. In this day and time, that's not bad. That's actually pretty doggone good.
That's real good.
LSU has an unproven DBs, and they just had trouble. Now, here's one thing, Griff, that happened, and Jim, that happened over there. They had a huge fight. And you have that during spring, during camp, especially when you're back in the 2 days, you'd be worn out and get in a fight. But it was so bad. I never seen this happen where they wouldn't listen to a coach, and they actually kick him and say, "Get in the locker room." And they have a DB over there that is not with the team, and I have his name somewhere. Forgive me, I can't think of it. And I want to think he's a transfer from an A&M. I could be wrong on that, but he's taking care of some family business. They think he might be. If Coach Kelly said if he takes care of everything he's supposed to, we could have him back by this weekend. We've got to be patient with this. So nobody knows what's going on. It's a family issue here or a personal issue. So you've had some fights over there. That shows you that maybe the transfers and everybody coming together are not like they need to be. I asked Tommy about practice at FSU. He said, no, it was all positive. They're together. None of that kind of stuff at all. They're pulling for one another. So keep an eye on that. If you're not together with these transfers, that could be a problem.
If you got a weak backfield and you got a 6'7" Johnny Wilson,
yes,
I'm playing jump ball. I'm just throwing it up to him, throw it above everybody, and throw it to him.
Yeah, keep on.
That Coleman's real tall too.
Yeah, Keon Coleman's a big, tall fella.
It's like 6'4", I think.
If you got that, just play jump ball, man. Throw it up and let those guys go get it.
Unproven secondary. Florida State will attack that. I guarantee that. One other thing I do want to talk about, they said this past year that LSU kind of snuck up on people. And I think what they were referring to, the Alabama loss, Tennessee comes in there and destroys them in a day game in Baton Rouge early in the year. As the year went on, they got better. They probably peaked by beating Alabama, and then you pointed out after that they've struggled quite a bit.
Limped.
Yeah, Georgia. Of course, Georgia whipped everybody bad, but they won't sneak up on anybody because everybody knows he fits. Is a great fit. He's a true Southerner. Baton Rouge through and through.
We're going to see if he loses that game. You're going to see some pressure. Remember, after everybody loved Brian Kelly the first game, they missed the extra point. For the next, 2-3 weeks is fire Kelly. This is the wrong guy. And that's the pressure I believe is going to keep him from winning a national title at LSU. Not that he's not a good coach, not that it's not a place that can. That's an awful lot of pressure. Every game you lose, you're an outsider, you're a Yankee, you this, that, the third.
Right, yeah,
and to me, that's the only reason I kind of have doubts if he's going to win a title at LSU, because he coached at Notre Dame, Cincinnati, he was successful. I mean, he's actually built Cincinnati into what it is today, not fickle.
I think he's a great coach.
I think he's a great coach, so I don't want to say anything bad about him, but I think the fit is just a little strange for me. I need to see more of it.
Winning solves a lot of problems.
100%.
Winning solves all problems.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. The game's going to be played in Orlando. LSU people travel. They'll spend money to get tickets. I think it's going to be 50-50.
Probably. I mean, you could call it a little closer home field advantage for Florida State, but LSU fans are excited. First game of the season, they're going to travel. They're going to be a crowd.
The heat, humidity, I think LSU's used to it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Yeah. It's going to be hot. Those teams practice in the heat. They're getting ready for it. Florida State went to Jacksonville, I think, last week for 2 or 3 days outside to just kind of soak it up a little bit. But yeah, it's going to be two guys two really good coaches, two really good teams. The mistakes, everybody talks about turnovers and all that. That's really what's going to be the difference. But if one team has a weakness, the other team will expose it.
I'm looking forward to it. I guess I'll go ahead and break it here. News. I have been invited to speak. Griff's having me come in to talk to the House, and the governor will be there.
Come on.
Yeah, we'll have fun. Griff,
Lord
thank you for
us.
coming in. Jason, we got you next Friday.
Yep.
Jim Bob, Tuesday. All right, we're out. You have a great day. Have a great weekend. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Kid's name is Denver Harris.
ESPN Northwest Florida, your home for Mike Greenberg.
There is always a special place in your heart for your first favorite player.